So now we're going to perform the hair color retouch portion of the exam. The examiner will read, you will perform a hair color retouch application. You will apply simulated hair color product to the back section of the head. The client has 1 inch of new growth or regrowth. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. And when you're going in for the hair color retouch, this is, of course, you guys might have on gloves. I don't, so I don't have, since I don't have on gloves, I have to come in here and get me a pair out. And I'm going to start off with base, okay?
So we do need basic chemical.
For this particular one. For this one, for this color retouch, we will need to apply base.
Just in the back.
This back right section right here. So when it read, if you pull this up from DL Roof, it's going to say on apply it to one section of the back of the head. We apply it to the right back section of the head. So that's what you'll hear your examiner call out to you during our exam.
So
And that's,
we need we need a Q-tip for base and a Q-tip for patch.
yes.
Yes.
So I need to get me a Q-tip. I got one of my universal supplies. I'm just going to use one of these spatulas right here. Come on.
Did it spread out?
And the base is sitting on your station automatically. The base is sitting on the station. So Nico, what I do first? Somebody help Nico out. What do I do first? So I sanitize, and I got my gloves on, and I got this base in my hand. So now I got to go in here and apply this to the skin area. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to apply my base. And I can do, at this point, I could take it if I want to and put it on my fingers. I can do that, or I could just apply it with the spatula.
Just don't get it on the hair.
And I'm just coming around here. Your main focus is the skin. You're right, Nico. The main focus is the skin. This is where we get those big lines when your client walk out of the salon. And if you ever seen anybody walk around with a big old line around their head, this is part of that reason. That stylist either skip that or they put water without doing the wax on, wax off. Say what?
I've done that so many times. When do you take off the base?
The base stays. So it's going to work
Even
like...
on the real client?
Say that again.
Even on the real client?
Yeah, it's going to stay because that's going to work as a barrier. So that product is going to work as a barrier so it doesn't end up leaving a big stain on the skin. That's kind of like one of the worst, I ain't gonna say the worst
so
things.
So we wash it out when we wash their hair?
Yep, it'll come off thin. Yep, so it's going to work like a little barrier, like a little protective barrier so it doesn't adhere to the skin as much. So now that we have it based, we do not have to go inside these quadrants with our base. So I'm going to base the skin right here. And now we're going to go in and we're going to do what we call outline the perimeter. So I'm just going to take my product. What product am I using? Hair color, right? So I'm using the hair color. And I'm going to go in and take this section right here. I'm just going to grab it. And I'm going to go around. And how much new growth did it say that I had? 1 inch. So I'm going to start off by just outlining my quadrant. This is the one procedure that will be directly on the scalp. It will be from scalp pulled out. We're not talking. Yeah, we're not talking about semi or demi. We're talking about we're using permanent hair color. That is going to be applied from the scalp out to the new growth. So we said 1 inch. I'm going to keep in here and make sure I'm placing this at 1 inch.
1 inch from the scalp down?
Yep, 1 inch out right here. And I'm not putting it quite at 1 inch just yet.
Okay.
So when I come out here, so from the scalp out, it's going to be 1 inch. Right now I'm not putting as much because what you're going to see when you're working with this product, that it is going to start sliding. And if it's really, really thick, it's going to start sliding down. So if I put 1 inch right there, by the time I'm done, depending on how much pressure I use, I might end where it's spread out 1.5 inches on the hair. Does that make sense? So I'm controlling the product right now. My stuff is blue. So they gonna see it all up on this skin.
It don't look that dark.
But y'all see like right in this area, right down in here, this is where somebody, let's imagine my hair is black and I'm going blonde or going a lighter shade. If I don't have this close enough to the scalp, it's gonna look like new growth is growing out already. That makes sense? So you wanna check, that's why we're outlining. We're making sure that the perimeter with that client, they're not looking after you finish applying this product, they don't go in the mirror and still see new growth. Right in these little sensitive areas right here. Somebody with gray, I wish I would go in now and leave out with some gray still in my hair. So I can see already, y'all, that I'm gonna have to change my cape out. I mean my towel out. You see how product is getting on my towel? I'm gonna go ahead and finish off. But when I get done, I'm gonna switch her out. Hey, no, I'm just playing. So although we think like short hair can kind of get in the way, kind of hinder you sometimes, it's not always the best bet. So practice with, you know, the length that you're working with.
So like all of your stitches that's gonna be left.
I can't answer that question, Janasia. All right, so now I went around outlined the quadrant. After you outline the quadrant, you can do one or two things. You can start at the bottom or you can start at the top. I'm going to start at the top. And you want your subsections to be 1/4 inch wide, okay? You can honestly, for hours, you can do 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch for your color retouch. You're going to apply it on the top and the bottom. Then I'm going to go to my next one, apply it on the top. I'm going to come in here, subsection, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. This side. If 10 minutes. So if I come in here and I notice right here that I have some on the hair, I'm going to clean it off. I'm not going to leave that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that.
You're still coloring on it, Sherry.
Yep. So I don't want it to go past that. That's where I'll get penalized. So I'm going to clean it up.
What if some color from the other strand gets another strand?
As long as it does not exceed 1 inch, you're fine. But if it get on a strand over here,
Like an end of a strand?
I'm going to clean it off. I'm going to clean it off. So that's what I just got finished doing, was cleaning it off. Because it went past. It was some that drug up with my brush. I just went in and I cleaned it off. Just don't leave it.
We do the whole section.
That whole section, front and back. Okay?
You're talking about the width at 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch.
Yep, from subsection to subsection. You want it to be 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch wide. That's it.
Okay.
So as I go from my next subsection, so I'm coming in here applying. When I go to my next one, so like right here, I'm gonna clean that off. Okay, I'm not gonna leave it. And over here, I got some too that I'm gonna clean off.
Is it best to start from the back?
Me personally, you're gonna have to keep clipping it up. To me, it's quicker to go from the top to the bottom versus me keep putting the clip in and taking it off. It's gonna eventually get to the point where it comes down to time. How much time is it taking me to put that clip in and take and remove it out? You know what I'm saying? And I'm over here using this thing in my hand. You see how some of my little small pieces are getting caught up? It might happen to y'all. Clean the area off and keep it moving.
I mean, you get what, 10 minutes for this?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's cool.
This is probably the easiest procedure you're gonna do.
Yeah.
The crash test is easy.
True. But see how I'm coming out from the scalp? So it is literally on the scalp. It is literally on the scalp. And like I said, I'm not dragging it quite all the way out to one. I got to go back and check my work since I'm not doing that, because I know that as I'm pushing this pressure, it's going to start causing it to kind of drift, kind of move down that strand. That makes sense. So just keep in mind, if I push this, I don't want to push it, because if I push it, it's going to also do the same thing. So when I finish,
You're having to lengthen the hair, so each time it's gonna get a little bit longer down each strand for each subsection.
yes, wider. You can divide it up if you need to.
We can divide it in half?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was thinking about that.
Also, you see how I'm kind of dragging it in? I have to be careful not to come in too much and bring it to a point on when to go past that 1 inch on my sides. So that's stuff you kind of got to think about as well.
So the state bar is this what we're practicing, nothing else. And
Right now, today, I'm covering, I got to get us through this practical exam so y'all know all the steps to it. Next Monday, I'm going to go over the last 2 portions, which is the
waxing.
your first aid procedure, blooded soldier procedure, and tweezing and waxing. And then I can but Wednesday, I'm going to go over the information about relaxers as well as the color retouch, because we really only did the virgin color application.
But isn't this the retouch?
This is the retouch that I'm teaching today, but I'm going to go in depth a little bit more because I'm just teaching for the exam today. We gotta clean something off. I threw my little, what you call it away. I'm gonna go back in there and do it after I finish applying this.
See, I like that brush. You ain't gotta worry about the brush going too far.
I know.
That's silicone.
Yep, it is. Let's see if these messed up pixels gonna help me.
When we do a color retouch, we're gonna do a 4 section.
Yep. So I cannot not fix this piece over here.
Your hair
thing.
So right over here, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean that little area off. I couldn't get past that.
Oh my gosh, I was watching this video Brad Mondo was watching, and this guy's he wanted a retouch on his hair, but his friend replaced it with Nair.
Oh my God.
It was so
Oh my goodness.
his
Being
hair
fun
was
is what-
like
Me and
chunks
Fred been fighting,
falling out.
tussling.
That's fine.
He's trying to clean.
Yeah, so evil something.
That's just the automatic get a punishment. Not
And the
just-
guy was laughing. I'm like, no, that's like your hair falling out.
If it was on YouTube, they probably playing it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably like that.
But the guy seemed like he didn't know nothing.
He's a
Mm.
good
He was
actor.
like, no, you gotta do
He
it
might
like
be a good
this.
actor then because. Child, I wish somebody would.
Right.
And as y'all can see, if I make a mess, I'm cleaning it up. I'm not gonna leave it, okay? And it's really coming from my brush. So if you take a look at that brush and clean your brush off, that'll help you. But that's generally where it's coming from, is from my brush.
I did that. I had it on my glove and then I got it.
Yeah. And I just wanna clean off these areas where I'm going past my 1 inch, okay? Now, for me, this is 1 inch. my little piece right here is a little slightly under 1 inch. So I know to kind of go a little bit past that. So whatever your 1 inch is, at least use it. You know what I'm saying? Don't have access to 1 inch and then don't even check to see if it is. You know what I'm saying? So if it's your brush, if it's your comb, whatever your all-purpose comb, your cutting comb. Lift you up. And then I'm going to take my sections. Yep. And I'm going to let it oxidize. I'm just going to drop them down. But here, the examiner at this time is walking around looking while you're doing this. How wide are your subsections? Here I can basically kind of see my subsections when I bring it down like this. Okay? But that examiner is going to be watching you as you're going through and parting along the way to kind of gauge to see if those subsections are between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch wide. But its max is 1/2 an inch that you can do for your color retouch. It's always better to do 1/4 of an inch. That's textbook. But so that's what we teach is the 1/4 of an inch. But you can go no wider than 1/2 an inch. For our exam, do 1/4 of an inch. And here you are. We have her base. We have her we have her base and all that good stuff. And she's sectioned off and she's done. So once you finish this guy right here, go back. Well, I shouldn't stop it yet. Go back and check your client. Check around in this area. Don't leave that. Come in here and clean this area. I know there's a patch test there, but right in this area right here, clean it up. If you need to change out your your towel, I'm going to change my towel out. I see product all over it. So this will be a time for me to come in here and switch my client's towel out. And also to discard my brush. Say what, Nico?
I forgot you were recording. You just talked to me.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's funny all the precautions they take with the client versus like at home. It's like an old T-shirt and a towel. And we got purple rings around our hairline.
We'll get it off the video.
On my ear, my neck.
And you know what? What's worse though, y'all? I'm telling you, being in that shop fighting, trying to get a stain off a client because they was looking like they did it at the house. You know what I'm saying? Versus coming to the shop. But one rule to this is that when you are doing it, so back in the day, Mr. Galloway tell you, people used to smoke in the salon, they take the ashes and clean them off. It gets it off. But because it's illegal, we can't do that. So what you do?
My head with toothpaste.
So what you do is before the water hit it. So if I had to clean off, I would say there's a rule where we say color does not lift color. It doesn't. But when it's on the skin, I can take, instead of me taking water and cleaning that area off, I'm going to take some of that color. And I'm going to start emulsifying it in that area.
Bringing it back down to that.
It will end up.
State.
It'll end up lifting it. It will. It'll get it off the stain off the skin. But if I put as soon as I put water on it, it locks it in there. So I gotta do it before I put water on it. So I'll take a little bit of color from the back area if it's dried up around the hairline, and I'll begin to just kind of loosen it up.
Some more colors.
Yep, I'll add some more color to it. Start loosening that area up and start kind of playing around with that line a little bit.
To its original state where it could be removed, where it was a liquid.
Yep, because.
Oh, wow.
So once you hit that water, that's when it stains bad. So just do it before then, you should be pretty good.
Isn't there a product that can remove, like a spray product that can remove stuff off?
They're horrible because they're wet too. So by the time, if I put that on without doing that technique where I emulsify it with the color, then I'm going to end up with the same issue. I got this $10 product that I purchased to remove stain, and I still got a stain on my client head. So just keep that in mind. Get that hairline before the water hit it. So I'm noticing, I'm cleaning up ahead of time, but maybe my client has some really resistant gray that's dropping all the way down like sideburns. And I kind of got to get that area. Once I've let it process enough, then I'll go back in and start going around the area and start loosening it back up with the product.
Yeah, I have that.
Say it again.
Down, like a point right here. So yeah.
It's some way down here, and they're looking. That's what they look at when they go when you're done with them. That's the first place they're looking to see if those sideburns or that coarse gray hair got color.
Yeah.
And if I miss that, then they're gonna be kind of, what you gonna do about that? What you gonna do about that little sideburn? I'm gonna shave it off with my razor.
I don't know how safe this is or not, but I use nail polish remover to get the color off. I know it's like if it's on my hand, I don't do it on my face.
Yeah.
On my hands, I just
Put it on
It
there.
comes right off.
Yeah, for your client, that's gonna be
Oh,
the
no, I'm
issue.
not doing no
Yeah. But I promise you that technique is legit, man. If you hit that with, if I'm telling you, you'll be like, ah, okay.
But like,
I wish I would have known that.
It works good.
what?
Like nail polish remover.
That's how I get off my hands. I probably do.
I don't think it'll hurt you.
I mean, I've done like right here to get it off, but don't nobody really
I
get
hate
hands
the smell of
right
that
there.
part.